Hello and welcome again to another episode of Nerf News, your number one source for Nerf news on the net. I'm your host, Drac, and today we're talking about Alpha Strike. Now, I wanted to talk about three separate things. I wanted to talk about Icon and Alpha Strike and Dart Zone Pro, but all of that would take way too much time for a concise and clear Nerf news video, so we're going to split them into two videos. We're doing the Alpha Strike exclusive right now, and we're doing it because my good friend Jared sent me all of this HD 4K video footage, and I can get like some really good stills. This is actually his office here, and speaking of offices, this green screen is killing me, guys. If it looks like I'm flickering in and out, I am legitimately trying to make this the best I possibly can be. I'm gonna real quick. This is me chroma keying out of my office, nowhere near as cool as Jared's office, but then I hide that background, and here I am, floating head, popping in and out black t-shirt. Anyway, let's talk about Alpha Strike. It's Nerf's newest, Nerf's cheapest full lineup of products. Alright guys, so this is the Stinger from the Alpha Strike line, and we're learning a lot of important things in this video right now in this process. So first off, this is a Jolt. It's a 1000% Jolt reskin, but if you note, there is no metal. The metal where the pin should be, right in here, is not evident, and there are no screws in it either. Like, the only metal bit in this blaster is the spring, and by saving all of that money in manufacturing and in parts cost, Hasbro has cut the price of the Jolt, which we now know to be a $5 blaster, more or less baseline with obvious premiums for variants, down to $3. So the Stinger is a $3 Jolt. Man, look at all of this, tons of warning labels on the side. But at $3, it's really easy to make some mega packs out of this blaster. So the Stinger is the new baseline for the Jolt. Same Jolt performance, $2 less in price. Alright guys, so this is the Tiger, and it's obviously some sort of dual-shot shotgun blaster. You can see the embossed Alpha Strike logo and then a ton of labels on here, yet minimal deco. The only thing that shows up is the Nerf logo on the other side. Now, again, 0 screws all over this blaster, which is making it much cheaper. This guy's going to cost $13, but what is for essentially a double strike with hopefully a larger style plunger, you are getting 2 shots Smart AR style with a pump grip. That action is pretty clean, pretty easy, but this is a $13 shotgun that comes in a variety of these packs with like a bunch of different targets, and hilariously, for the first time ever, this is more darts than you would be getting in a regular blaster. Normally, Hasbro only gives you enough darts to fill the blaster once. This one comes with 6 times as many. 12 darts for a 2-shot blaster is pretty slick, and that $13 price point is ultra mega levels of cheap, but it does say Nerf on it. I think that it's a cool kind of form factor, but that grip is going to be something that we're going to have to talk about in a minute. That is a serious concern. Alright guys, and this one is called the Cobra. This is a $10 revolver. It has 6 shots. It's got a pullback T-style pull. And again, we're looking at this handle right here, and the handle's just absolutely killing me. It's clearly skeletonized in an attempt to reduce material and lower that overall cost. It makes it easier to have no screws in the blaster when you do this kind of waffling, but if we learned anything from the split strike back in the day, it's that is a really uncomfortable kind of handle. Now, the action looks crisp in Jared's video. The performance is there. It's getting elite style performance, but overall, not a very decorated blaster. We've got that single Nerf logo embossed. We've got the Alpha Strike logo, and then the other side is just completely covered in warnings. And this is like an interesting one to talk about and kind of single out because this is the Cobra. It is a $10 price point MSRP, and yes, it's coming with a decent amount of darts, but look at that handle. It almost disappears as we rotate through. And then this is the part that I really want to address. All right, guys, so I want to pull this one over from another window. This is the same performance, same elite style performance, but this is the Elite Disruptor. It's a far more comfortable blaster. It does come with screws. It's easier to upgrade. It's also a 6-shot revolver with an open bottom cylinder down here. You can see I bought it on January 10th, 2017 when it was bright, shiny, and new. But because it's no longer bright, shiny, and new, you can see it is on sale, 23% off from its MSRP of $13. It is now down to $10. Like, that is absolutely crazy insane. This is the same price as the Cobra, and for this price, you get full Elite branding, plenty of deco, multiple logos, decent paint, multiple colors. Like, This is the real deal. This is an ultra slick Nerf revolver. I would still rather spring for the extra $5 and get a hammer shot personally, but this is a directly comparable set of internals when looking at the Cobra, except an infinitely better blaster in terms of the overall fit, finish, and quality. Like, this is a full-on Nerf blaster, and this is, if I had $10 to spend on a revolver, I would absolutely buy the Disruptor over the Cobra. There's nothing wrong with the Cobra, and I think that the way that it's distributed and packaged is going to make it interesting, and of course, it too can go on sale, and it will be a $7 to $8 blaster when you start buying it and bundling it in some of those packs. However, just for the point of order, I want to point out, this is a better blaster for the same price from the same company. I think that it's just really a step backward to go from making some of the nicest stuff on the shelf to trying to compete for the cheapest stuff on the shelf too. But hey, what do I know? Finally, we get to the Fang, which is the best of the blaster kind of lineup, and it's definitely the best in terms of like price per performance, but also I think the most practical for use in a war, actually. So it's a 4-shot Smart AR blaster. The next closest thing is the Zombie Strike Quadrot, which is a $10 blaster, and this comes in at $5. So for half the price, you get half the plastic, almost none of the metal. Again, exception for the spring. Way less decoration, way less pomp and circumstance, but compared to the Zombie Strike handles, who knows? This might be a more comfortable handle. I'm kidding. This is not a comfortable handle. But who wouldn't want Hasbro to name a blaster after them? I'm so flattered that you guys finally pulled a page out of my Fangy Boy book. And this is overall like the best looking, and I think again the most practical. The Cobra could be a very good revolver-esque blaster, but again, I just don't think the Cobra should exist in a world where the Disruptor is $10. This at $5 is a really, really good deal. Now, I want to talk about the line overall. I want to talk about kind of what it means for Hasbro to be doing this, and then I also want to talk about why they're doing it, because it's pretty interesting. All right, guys, so it's time for the rampant speculation part of the Alpha Strike video. So why does this exist? I don't know. I have kind of some theories based on my position in the industry, but like anybody else in the industry, I don't know everything. I just know some things. So for a while now, Hasbro's been suffering from the Kleenex problem, where no matter what company makes a blaster that shoots foam darts, it gets kind of labeled as a Nerf blaster, which means that companies that compete in this blaster segment of the toy industry benefit tremendously from the massive amounts of money that Hasbro pumps into marketing and brand equity. And that's really good for the industry as a whole, but it means that Hasbro is often helping its competitors, and there's no finer example of that than when they got completely undercut by Zuru's X-Shot line. Now, if we just look really quickly here at the X-Shot line, a lot of these look like derivatives of different Nerf blasters. The Justice or the Regenerator is clearly a Modulus ripoff. The Stealth is clearly a Jolt kind of knockoff, and then the no-res, those are all, of course, Ninja versions. I vastly prefer the regular versions. This is a Retaliator. This is a Long Strike. This is a Flip Fury. This is a Disruptor. This is a Jolt, etc., and so forth. Now, the things that these do differently from Nerf blasters is that A, they hit a little bit harder. B, they come with a crap ton of ammunition in them. And C, they cost often half to a third the price of their referent other in the space. So if you're mom and dad and you're walking down the toy aisle and you're just looking for a present, or if you're looking to pick up a Nerf blaster, you don't necessarily have the same brand equity that your children do. And so you're like, oh man, check out these cool Nerf blasters that only cost half as much. And not everybody is willing or able, frankly, to spend $50 on a Nerf blaster. So often getting just as much, if not more, in a multi-pack that's only $30 or $25, sometimes $20, is a phenomenal deal from a value proposition. So if you look at the packaging on these blasters, so this is the only still that I'm going to show you from Jared's video, because I really do want you to watch Jared's new video. I think that it's very comprehensive and does a good job of explaining this line. I just wanted this one still to show you the packaging for the Tiger DB2. You can see here we've got Alpha Strike, big Nerf logo, definitely advertising that we're including lots of darts on this one, but this is the most interesting thing. #1 blaster brand. Now, I can't read this tiny text, but the question is, how are you determining that? I'm assuming you're determining that by sales. So to finally jump back into it and conclude the video, I think it's really interesting that Hasbro feels so threatened by these people undercutting their market with performance and quality that they're willing to lower their quality from making the best blasters in our space off the shelf to making some of the cheapest blasters off the shelf. Like, these don't have the ability to open them up easily. These have no screws. These have no modular ability. They're not tweakable. They're poorly painted. Like, compared to the Zuru blasters, with at least have like deco and stickers on them, it's just a very interesting space. I would love to see Hasbro as the industry leader in the blaster space, elevating their game instead of lowering it to attack the lowest common denominator. I hope it works out for them. I'm sure it's going to lead to a ton of different sales. It's very cool now. Like, I in particular am a big fan, like Jared, of the Stinger multi-pack. The fact that you can host a younger child's birthday party for just $20, picking up an 8-pack of blasters with darts is awesome. Everybody can take them home. They're practically like a goodie bag and an event for the party all in one. Jared mentions in his video calling it the Nerf Party Pack. I think that that would be a stellar idea. Overall, these blasters are fine. As long as we're talking about the industry, I am full and well willing to admit that I have a little bit of perspective bias as one of the individuals who makes bespoke blasters at the highest quality possible. It would just be really, really nice to see the #1 blaster company in the world, as long as we're beating our chest about how awesome we are, elevate their game. I understand that it's a ton of work to retool and tool down a ton of machinery so that you can produce blasters as cheaply as possible and distribute them to mass market like this, and it is no small accomplishment. My hat is off to you, Hasbro. You pulled this entire line out of your hat, almost seemingly out of nowhere, which is very, very impressive. I'm very impressed. I know that tens of thousands of children will be very impressed as well come this fall and holiday season. And ultimately, like, that's what it's all about. I think that you're doing an amazing job of bringing joy to an entirely new demographic of children using that Nerf brand and marketing. And that's pretty cool. Would I like to see you elevate your game? Absolutely. Is there whispers and echoes that you'll be doing that very soon? That too is very interesting. So I'm looking forward to speaking more about that. I am also just very grateful to Jared for sending over that 4K content so that I can make this video for you guys. It is super exciting, not only that Hasbro chose a community member to distribute this line to the world, like Jared did have the global launch on this entire line, which is just so very, very cool. Mad respect for that, Hasbro. You have a multi-million-dollar marketing department. You're trusting the people who are truly passionate about your product to take the reins every once in a while. I know that that's a little nervous for you guys, but like, seriously, crazy, crazy, awesome respect. And because of that, I have every intention later this month to head out, hang out with Jared, get my hands on these blasters in person, and I'll be bringing you guys full reviews of them in person on the channel like I always do. I'll be able to be either more generous or more brutal in regards to the ergonomics at that time, but we'll have to wait and see. Like, they are priced right. They are pretty neat. I'm looking forward to possibly pilfering his Fang blaster, bringing that home for the old Drac tune-up, see what we can do to that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and seriously, a huge thank you to Jared for sharing that footage. Jared's #1 goal for the year is he really wants to hit 100,000 subscribers, so I'm going to put a subscribe button for him and a link to the main video, which is 20 minutes of good Nerf goodness, all in the end screen coming up here. So click one, click the other, click both. Help him out. He's a good dude, and he is just trying to bring us the news as quickly as he can. As always, guys, much love. Nerf on, Drac out. Let me know what you think of this line in the comments. Super interested for that juicy, juicy blaster drama.
Listen.